Time for another edition of Sundays with Serby, and this week for his weekly Q&A, New York sports columnist Steve Serby caught up with Yankees legend Derek Jeter. Now, let's catch up with a legend in New York sports journalism. That would be Mr. Serby himself. You see him on the right of your screen. How you doing, legend Serby? How's it going?
Wow, it's very, very kind of you. I consider you a legend, so thank you for the compliment. But the legend was Derek Jeter on Serby's with Sunday. How's that? Serby's with. I'm changing the name. Serby's with Sunday.
Well, if Derek Jeter's a legend and you're a legend, I'm a legend. This should be a legendary interview right here. That's how it should.
Yeah, we're legend in our own minds, of course. But it was good catching up with my old friend Derek Jeter. I did 3 or 4 Q&As with him when he played, and he was, look, he became more guarded as the years went on.
Right.
And he was never a quote machine, of course. But the thing about him that I really respected was he was always accessible and always cordial, kind of like Eli Manning, but more boring than Eli Manning on purpose. But class act all the way. And look, when he talks about the Yankees over the years, they haven't won a championship, obviously, since 2009.
Yep.
And he understands why. Last year's team was riddled with injuries. I mean, basically it was Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole and Pray for Rain. Well, that doesn't rhyme. You remember Spawn and Sane and Pray for Rain? No, that's before your time, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit before my. That's a little before my time. You're trying to rhyme here, and this is why this is legendary. But let me get into the question. Let me ask you the question, right? Because you kind of hit on that right there. Jeter, he won 5 titles with the Yankees. He knows that the team hasn't won it all since 2009, as you mentioned. What does he think about the 2023 Yankees, the Yankees we just saw play and not make the playoffs, and the organization's current championship drought? What does he think of all of that?
Well, look, the Yankees were ravaged by injuries in 2023. Rodon, Severino, Nasty Nestor, go down, Rizzo at first base. Donaldson was a bust. The chemistry was just not right. The injuries prevented them from going on a roll and getting hot at the right time, which is what all these 4 teams left in the playoffs have done. But look, there were too many ups and downs last year for the Yankees. They never got on a roll. Aaron Boone was only so everybody wants him fired, but what more could Aaron Boone have done with Judge and Cole and no one else? And then you got a tough division. The Orioles were a surprise, and the Yankees, as always, are the hunted, and they just couldn't overcome the lack of chemistry issues and all the injuries. And like I said, basically it was Judge and Cole and Pray for Rain. So, but I did ask Jeter, if George Steinbrenner were alive, how much interest would he have in Mr. Ohtani? And he laughed and said that George Steinbrenner, the boss, would do whatever it took to land Ohtani in New York. And obviously that's what every team needs. But Ohtani, as a New York Yankee, that will change the whole dynamic for that team.
It could change the dynamic, and the Yankee fans are hoping that their championship drought can change as well, too, for the better. Now, I know you also
and Jeter repeated to me what he said over the years. It's not easy to win. Right. And especially in the playoffs, the Yankees have stubbed their toes in the playoffs year after year. They didn't even make the playoffs this year, but it's not easy to win. And the fact that they haven't won, the Yankees have not won a championship since 2009 is proof positive of that.
Yeah, well, when he played, it made it look easy to win at one point, and you're right, it's not easy to win. It's hard, and this is sometimes why teams have these championship droughts. Now, I know you also talked a little playoff baseball with Jeter. We're now in the championship series round of the Major League Baseball playoffs. Which matchup does the former shortstop believe would be the most compelling in terms of the World Series? What's the matchup he wants to see?
Well, he would settle for any of the matchups. I think Astros versus Phillies would be very compelling. A repeat of last year's World Series. The Astros, the team we love or hate, or love to hate, trying to become the first back-to-back World Series champions since Jeter's Yankees did it 98, 99, and 2000. And they've got that superstar Yordan Alvarez, who's so fun to watch, and former Met Justin Verlander, who is now, in Jeter's view and everyone else's as well, much more of a pitcher than he used to be, a fireballing thrower. And of course, if the Astros are in, we'll see Kate Upton in the stands. How many, she might even one up Taylor Swift as far as over-under views. Phillies, the Phillies have that rabid fan base, and Bryce Harper. The Diamondbacks, young up-and-coming team with Corbin Carroll, fun to watch. And the Rangers, a team that has never been in the World Series, and they've got an unflappable star in Corey Seager. And they've got Max Scherzer, who Jeter remembers as a Bulldog, and of course still is a Bulldog who never wants to come out of any game. So to me, it would be a rematch of last year. How about you, Dex? Who would you want to see?
Yeah, I'd like to see that rematch of last year. I know sometimes people get tired of seeing the same two teams, but I think that's the most intriguing series, seeing if the Phillies can get over the hump, which Mets fans don't want to see, and then the Astros trying to win. That's something that they don't want to see again as well, too, right? The Yankee fans don't want to see.
You would not be opposed to Kate Upton watching Justin Verlander over and over again on your TV screen, right?
Well, we talked a lot about Verlander this year, right? A lot of Verlander, a lot of Scherzer. So, I don't know. I don't think the Mets and Yankees fan bases are rooting for that. You did mention something that I just wanted to make a correction to make sure that we are correct. The Rangers have made the World Series. So you said they never made it before. The Rangers actually have made the World Series. That they haven't won the World Series. They've reached there, but they have not won the World Series.
Right. They have not won the World Series. Right.
So there's intrigue there, too, with the Rangers, like you mentioned, right? Like just seeing if they can capture the first one. So that one could be intriguing as well, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jeter also, I asked him about his firstborn son, Caius, and he's got 4 children now. He loves fatherhood. It's the best feeling in the world. But I wanted to know if he would want Caius to play shortstop, and he said no. He's not going to push him into baseball. Whatever his passion is, that's what he wants to see. And however, when I asked him if Caius might want to become a Mets or a Red Sox fan, he said, no, that's not going to happen.
Oh, so he shut that down. He said wow. He's got to protect the brand. That's all I'm going to say. He's got to protect the brand and got to do it with the kids. I understand what's going on there. See, it sounds like you asked some really good questions. The legend that Steve Serby is asked the legendary shortstop for the Yankees, Derek Jeter. So what everybody should do that's watching Sundays with Serby is go and read that legendary Q&A that's up right now on nypost.com by the legendary Steve Serby. Steve, always a pleasure to connect with you on a Sunday. You have yourself a legendary rest of your Sunday.
And you have a legendary rest of yours as well.
Thank you, sir.